The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. They're company customers play just $5 and $100 month's funds. Use promo code NBA SGPN. And welcome everyone to the McGinn Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It's currently Wednesday morning, November 12th, around 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm Reichel, joined by Lonte Smith. Together, we're going to break down all 12 games on the card here for Wednesday. Should be fun, a lot of games, so hopefully we get some good action tonight. Lonte, how's it going with you? What's up?
Not much, man. Pretty good. Had a good podcast yesterday. I think a lot of the plays or leans that we gave out did well. Swept lock and dog. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing that forward into this episode.
Yeah, I'd say luckily for us, the only competitive game last night was on TV because the Sixers game came down to the wire against Boston. But out of the 6 games that happened yesterday, 5 of them were decided by 10-plus points. So not the most competitive slate, but either way, we had one good game on TV, and you ended up seeing a couple of high-scoring games. Utah scored 152 points, so they kind of went crazy there. Indiana stinks. Besides that, the Thunder buried the Warriors. You saw the Knicks win again. Ja was terrible again. What else is new? And Denver ended up winning on the back of a great Joker game again, late against Sacramento. But either way, once again, not too much drama, only one close game, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But either way, hopefully the games tonight are more competitive than the games on Tuesday. So, Lonte, I'll ask you quickly, anything you want to talk about from yesterday's action, or you want to just move on into Wednesday?
I don't think there was anything particularly that happened outside of, you talked about you talked about it with Utah. 152 in regulation was pretty impressive. I mean, they continue to play well at home. I like their young core. I was higher on them than most people coming in. They got Collier back. I think his second game back.
Double.
Yeah, he's looking good, and they needed that type of point guard. Philly and Boston delivered. That was a really good game. Thankfully, we were on the right side of that. I thought Philly was going to blow it, but thank God we were on the right side of that. But outside of that, man, not much to kind of dissect.
Yeah, I feel like the games kind of spoke for themselves. I see D. Johnson mentioning that I helped him make 1K from my picks, so congrats on the 1K. Either way, though, point is let's get into the games here. A lot of games. And we'll try to make sure this episode is not an hour and 20 minutes long. So before we get into any of the games for Wednesday, a reminder that you could check out the SGPN feed for every episode of every show in one convenient feed. Search SGPN on your favorite podcast app, whether it involves Spotify, Apple, you name it. But a reminder, check out the SGPN feed. It has all of the episodes for every show in one convenient location. So moving on into the actual games that we have for Wednesday. Starting off with the first game, you have the Bucks on the road, who are favorites as they are laying 5.5 against Charlotte. For this one, Bucks laying 5.5. The over/under is 231.5. Now, for the injury report for this game, right now Giannis is questionable. I see Porter Jr. and Prince are still out, but Giannis, of course, is the big story. Now, for Charlotte, Sexton is probable. You have Connaughton is probable, but usual suspects are out. You have LaMelo, who's out again. Brandon Miller out again, Josh Green out, and Grant Williams out. So, Lonte, last time we saw Milwaukee, they kind of fell apart in that fourth quarter against Houston, and then they ended up beating Dallas the game after, coincidentally the final game of the Nico Harrison era with Dallas. But either way, point is Milwaukee now playing on the road against a team that has had some, I'd say, impressive young talent show up. We saw Knipple finish, I think it was 1 assist away from a triple-double last game. The point is, though, Charlotte stinks. They have lost 6 of their last 7, mainly because, once again, tell me if you've heard this before, all those star players got injured again. So I'll ask you what you like in this game, because I feel like we kind of have to wait to see if Giannis is playing or not. But what are your thoughts on this game? Because Charlotte has some interesting young pieces, but the team, for the most part, isn't very good. So what do you like in this game?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I know LaMelo got assigned to the league team, the Greensboro Storm, to practice, so he's kind of working his way back. Obviously, still don't know a ton about Brandon Miller and his shoulder injury. I can assume that's not good, that we're not hearing anything about it, any type of progression or anything like that. You know what? I think the Hornets are one of those teams where kind of they're a lot better and more improved than what their record shows. They fight hard. They have a ton of young talent, like you talked about, to fit for him. Trey Mann has been really and Sexton as well. So I like the pieces that they can't result to winning because they don't have that guy, and LaMelo kind of is. Miles Bridges has been playing pretty good. They get at 34 the last outing. Specific game, yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the dog, just because I don't think Giannis played. He was dealing with knee soreness and he was kind of questionable the prior game. Late, I think he scored 15 in the fourth quarter. But this is something to watch for Hornets games, and it has been for quite a while. Look at their unders. Like their games at home typically go under. I know it's a small sample size right now, but going the last like 2 or 3 years, unders at home in Hornets games have been something that I've been looking at. So I would look under in Charlotte because I don't think that Giannis plays.
Yeah, Giannis is battling a knee issue again, which is not something that's really new for him. But the point is, Milwaukee has been playing fine so far this season. I am going to point out, though, in the 6-loss stretch out of 7 games, 5 of the losses have been by at least 10 points. So Charlotte has really not been that competitive in a lot of these games. Now, you could argue that without Giannis, how's Milwaukee going to score? What are they going to do? They did beat Golden State without Giannis at home a couple weeks ago. Then again, I think Golden State has lost 5 straight road games, so Golden State's kind of going through it on the road. But for this game, it really is a stay away until you find out if Giannis is playing or not, because why would you want to gamble on Milwaukee without knowing if Giannis, who really does everything for this team, ends up missing the matchup? If Giannis does sit, you can argue it's a homecoming for Cole Anthony. Not exactly, but he did play at UNC. I don't mind Cole Anthony props if those end up getting dropped once Giannis gets ruled out for this game. Now, do I want to take Charlotte if Giannis plays? No. Do I want Charlotte if Giannis doesn't play? Maybe, but I still don't know how great I feel about it. So people are going to be on Knipple because Knipple had a very solid, so far, season up to this point. So I don't mind him there. I do think Milwaukee can win even if Giannis doesn't play. But for me, it's a complete stay away. Because I don't know why you'd want to bother betting this game early with no information about Giannis, leaning one way or another. Wait for shoot-around, see how he looks at shoot-around, or if he ends up not participating. Usually a good indicator if they're going to play later on. But I'm kind of going to pass because I need to know if Giannis is playing, if I want any interest in playing Milwaukee for this one. But you mentioned the unders. Charlotte, for the most part, total 231.5. I don't mind the under in that. Charlotte offensively has not been that great, but defensively they've been underwhelming lately. But 126 against Miami is actually pretty standard because once again, Miami has the fastest pace of any team in the league. It's a stay away until I know more information about Giannis. Moving on to the next game, you have the Bulls taking on the Pistons. Pistons laying 2.5. Last time we saw them, I believe Cade set the record for most misses in a single game, but he had a triple-double with 40-plus points, and they somehow won the game. Shout out to Denise Jenkins for those big three-pointers at the end of regulation. But the Wizards invent ways to tank, so I'm impressed that they managed to blow that game. Either way, though, we know for the Bulls, they ended up losing to Wemby and the Spurs the last time out. Wemby had, I think it was 18 points in the fourth quarter. There's really nothing you can do about it. But Giddey did miss the last game because of DeAndre Hunter. He's questionable for this game. We'll see what his story is. As for Detroit, Cade is questionable, Duren probable. Isaiah Stewart is doubtful. No Harris, no Ivy, no Sasser, and no Asar Thompson. So I'll ask you, because we know the Bulls without, Kobe White for now and Giddey, you could argue are very limited when it comes to the backcourt. Dosunmu can maybe give you a decent game. Trey Jones is a fine fill-in guy, but we know Giddey's the main engine of this offense. So without knowing Giddey's official status, but knowing that a lot of Pistons guys might miss this game, do you want to lay the 2.5 with a pretty shorthanded Pistons team at home, or do you want to go with the Bulls potentially missing Giddey, or do you wait and find out if Giddey's playing and go from there?
Yeah, honestly, I want Detroit regardless. But if I think Giddey's going to play, which I think this number indicates that he is going to play, I think it should be a little bit higher if he's not.
It seemed like a one-game thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I want him in, and maybe this drops down to maybe like 1.5. But I think it's not priced appropriate. I think Detroit's the better team. I know they're missing some guys, but they have the requisite depth to kind of combat with that. I mean, Duncan Robinson's playing well. I mean, obviously Cade is Cade. Him and Duran have got this unique connection, kind of like Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash had. Like, it's a really good rapport that they have together. They're physical. They do need some shot makers, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. I know Ron Holland is kind of, the de facto like defender and the energy guy, but they're gonna, like, when they get deeper in the season, I think they're gonna make a move and try to get a couple of shooters. I mean, missing Beasley and Tim Hardaway Jr. That's two big losses, especially with Cade and the way that he's able to get in the paint and kind of spray out to those wide open shooters. Now defenses are which I think we saw on full display last game. Defenses are kind of just converging to the paint because they don't have anybody to kick out to score or that they trust to shoot the ball well outside of Duncan Robinson. So I like Detroit in the game. I mean, it's a little revenge from a 4-point loss earlier to Chicago this season. Chicago's lost 4 of the last 5. They allowed 120 plus points in all those 4 losses. I think Detroit's going to be the bigger, more physical team. I think Cade bounces back and has a more efficient game. So I like Detroit here.
Yeah, I understand Detroit at home. We know it can be very dangerous. They're 4-1 this season. Chicago's only 1-3 on the road. The thing is, after Cade had that many minutes and took that many shots, it wouldn't shock me if he actually sat out this game. But you're looking at all the supporting cast guys. I mean, we know Thompson defensively is very good. I mean, Ivy's barely played. Tobias Harris has been fine. And we know Isaiah Stewart's actually been pretty good with Duran. I think I am going to go Chicago in this one, but I want confirmation that Giddey's going to play first, just because I think that he's that important to this team. Detroit, look, if they win this home game without Cade, would I be shocked? Not entirely. But I do think that Chicago, if Giddey does play, and if Cade ends up sitting, you could argue that they have the better roster. Because there are a lot of Detroit guys who are missing this game already. So I do think that with the lack of depth for Detroit, with the injury report, I'll go Chicago, but it might be another wait and see because Giddey's that important for this team. Moving on to the next game. I know it's a Paolo birthday, and he's in MSG. So the Knicks are laying 4.5. The Magic are really going through it right now. The over-under is at 226.5. Now, the Knicks played the Grizzlies last night, so they are in a back-to-back. Then again, it's the Grizzlies, so nobody really cares. For the injury report, you have no Mo Wagner. Besides that, everyone in Orlando is healthy. For the Knicks, as of right now, Mitchell Robinson, who did not play yesterday, is questionable. Everybody else right now is listed as active. So we'll see what happens. The Knicks, though, offensively are really, really good. Knicks are 7-0 at home. They're 0-3 on the road. So the recent winning streak has been all home games at MSG. Now, for Orlando, I mean, the less said about them, the better. They've been really not impressive at all. In fact, you'd argue this season has been a failure up to this point. Bane hit the game-winning 3, so at least trading for him got them a win. But Paolo and Franz don't look great together. The defense hasn't been very good. The depth piece, especially the bench. The bench has been a mess for Orlando. I understand it's Paolo's birthday, and people love a birthday game at MSG. I'm taking the Knicks. I just think the Knicks are clearly the better team. And you're looking at the bench differential here. The Knicks actually have quality bench pieces. The Magic don't. And the Knicks offensively with Mike Brown look really, really good. So I'll go with the Knicks at home. Paolo can still give you 30, and they can still lose by 10-plus points. Like, that's not a guaranteed recipe to get you a win or a cover in this road spot. But the Knicks at home are an absolute wagon, and the team depth-wise, when it comes to scoring, are lethal. So give me the Knicks, who I think are the best team in the Eastern Conference at this point in time. Give me the Knicks minus 4.5. It's either them or Cleveland. I know Detroit record-wise is good, but if you're asking for the end of the season, I'd say playoff predictions, I think the Knicks right now are the best team in the Eastern Conference. You could agree to disagree, but I'll go with the Knicks minus 4.5 at home.
I'll probably take Cleveland over them, but they're right there.
I haven't seen enough Garland to pick Cleveland now.
Just assuming both teams are fully healthy, I would favor Cleveland.
I would take the Knicks personally, but you could argue that those two teams, and no offense to Detroit, who's been very good, those two teams are pretty far ahead of the other teams in the East. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's pretty fair. And I think
1A, 1B. Point is the Knicks are clearly better than Orlando. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, and it's more so. I mean, both teams are working through different changes in this aspect. It's just that the Knicks are going through their changes while winning, and Orlando is kind of faltering down. So it's harder to kind of get a gauge on them. I mean, Knicks at home, you talk about a 7-0 straight up and ATS. So that's something that I do not want to get in front of. Orlando, while they start out games really strong, and then they kind of let teams back in. I think about the game against Portland. I think about the game. A couple of nights ago that they had, like, they just continue to let teams back in games, and that's being at home. So I can only imagine. Obviously, I know Terrell talks about it a lot, the home court disadvantage with MSG, but I mean the numbers speak for themselves. I mean they are really pummeling teams at home, all on a back-to-back. But how much energy did they exert against the Memphis Grizzlies? Who, I mean, they kind of let go of the rope a little bit, and then they were like, oh, okay, well, let's put it back up. I think it got to maybe like 9 or 10, and then they kind of bumped it back up. So I like the Knicks here. I think that they still have a level that they can get to. The depth is something that Knicks fans have been talking about, in the Thibodeau era. And Mike Brown is playing a lot of those guys. You see the Jordan Clarkson, you see the Miles McBride having extended minutes. So I like that, and we haven't seen a ton of Mitchell Robinson as well. You talked about it with the injury, but
did you see Knicks fans celebrating when they pulled all the starters with 6+ minutes left against the Nets?
I didn't see that.
Knicks fans were jumping for joy. They were up by like 35, and they ended up pulling all the starters with 6 minutes to go. And Knicks fans were thrilled. So
yeah, that's an advantage, man. You got to keep Jalen fresh for down the stretch, because he's going to be a high usage guard in the playoffs. So I like the Knicks here. I think the number is probably a little bit too short, but when you factor in back-to-back, probably should be around like 6.5, due to what the Magic. They can't shoot. Bane is still in a slump. He made the shot, but he hasn't been playing well. Franz and Paolo are reverting back to when they first started playing together. It's kind of like my turn, your turn, and not playing together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of concerning. And they're in year 4 together, year 3 or 4 together. So that's
technically 3 or 4 if you factor in the injuries, maybe 2.5. But
yeah. So I'm not as worried about the Magic as a lot of people, because simply because the East is just not that good, and they'll have time to work things out. But Wendell Carter's playing really well also. So that's good to see, and I think it'll be a good game. But I think the Knicks pull away late and win by 6-7.
Yeah, it was 3.5 last night, so there has been some money coming in on the Knicks. But look, I understand they're on a back-to-back. Then again, they were up double digits the entire game against Memphis. They scored, I think it was like 75 points in the first half or something. Like, it was really just a rout early. But either way, I'll go with the Knicks in this one. I know they're on a back-to-back, but they're 7-0 at home. Like, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. Give me the deeper team at home, the undefeated home team, against a Magic team that right now is under 500. So I'll go with the Knicks minus 4.5 there. Before we get into the rest of the card for Wednesday, reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Book.ag. Use it to bet on football, basketball, hockey, tennis, college sports as well. You can also use crypto for funding your account and for getting nice payouts. And a reminder, we actually do sign up at Book.ag. Use the code SGPN for a special 100% bet bonus up to $500 for new customers. My Book.ag promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Novig. So if you like prediction markets, check out Novig, number one prediction market for sports in America. It's some great prices, and you can get some reduced juice. So check out Novig for great prices. Available in a bunch of states, 35 plus to be exact. Download the app. When you do so, get a nice deal with us. Get $50 when you spend just $5. If you use our promo code SGPN, get an extra Novig promo code SGPN. Spend $5, $50 in bonus funds. Welcome back, everyone, to the McGinn Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games for the card on Wednesday. Time to move on into the next game. Moving on to, speaking of the team that got their asses kicked by the Knicks yesterday, the Grizzlies, as they take on the Celtics. Both teams on back-to-backs. Both teams did lose. Boston lost an absolute war. Damn, Kata had a free putback there at the end. But either way, there was the clock running down. He missed the putback. But by the way, unrelated, Joe Mazzulla, some really bad last possessions so far this season. Really bad. But either way, Celtics are laying 6.5. Ja doesn't want to be there. We'll see if he plays on a back-to-back. The over-under's at 230.5. So, look, we know Boston's not very good this season. It makes sense with, of course, Tatum being out for the entire season. 5-7. As for Memphis, I like their under this season. Everybody got injured before the season even started. Edey's doubtful, so he's closer to getting back, but he's supposed to not play in this game. Damn shame, too, because a great matchup for Edey, because the Celtics can't stop any center to save their lives. But as of right now, you have no Clark, No Jerome. Jerome was the big signing they had during the offseason. He hasn't played yet. No Pippen Jr., no Clark, no Edey most likely. And Boston is right now looks pretty healthy. Now, I'm going to let you go first. All I'll say is, based on Memphis's current form, I think my hand is forced in this game. But what do you want for this game?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it last week, and I think the week prior. Like, I mean, you just can't bet Memphis right now. I mean, they're 2-8 ATS, 0-6 as a dog, and 0-3 on the road. They haven't shown a ton of fight. They did show some life against Dallas, but again,
I mean, Dallas is garbage. That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, so that's Dallas. But again, I mean, and it's not like I know everybody wants to talk about. I know everybody wants to talk about Ja, but again, and he has his own like issues, but the team's just not good. I mean, they don't have a lot of pieces to do things. The brightest spot in their lineup is Cedric Howard, and he's playing lights out on both ends of the floor. So that's something to look forward to. Maybe they get things going whenever they get those guys back. But again, I mean, it's just they're just not a good team. And you contrast that to Boston, who, I mean, Boston's been fine. Like I think this is kind of what everyone expected. They're a middling team. They're going to be in some games. They haven't been like blown off the floor in a ton of games. So they've been competitive, and this is without shooting at a high clip, like at a high level from three. Like I think they're still like bottom 5, bottom 6 in 3-point percentage. So that's not falling. They don't have a ton of size, and Tatum did mask a lot of those issues because of his ability to play make, his ability to rebound, and some of the lineups that they had to respect. And now you have a traditional 5 in Kata who doesn't space the floor. And it's kind of hard to kind of get those shots off when teams can kind of double off those triple handoffs. So I like Boston here. I mean, they're back home after a 1-2 road trip. Get right spot. I know it's not a ton of travel with New York and Boston, so I don't weigh that in. But I think the Celtics, they should get out to a really good, fast start. So I would look at them in the first quarter as well.
Yeah, I mean, the main issue is the fact that the Grizzlies' star player looks like he's actively punting games. I mean, that's really the main issue right now. I'm going to read off some stats, and you could just let me know your thoughts on these. Are you aware of how bad Ja's been shooting over the last 6 games? Like, do you know the details, or do you want me to actually read them off?
Well, I'll tell you this. I do know it's bad. It's so bad that he went like 2 of 7 from 3, and his 3-point percentage increased.
That is correct. But to read off the actual numbers, so starting off with the final game in October 31st, from that game to the game last night, Ja's played 6 games. The Grizzlies are 1-5. So in those 6 games, he's shooting 27.7% from the floor, and he's shooting 14.7% from 3. 14.7% from 3, and he's averaging 5 turnovers per game. So once again, Ja Morant, who's been attempting 16.8 shots per game during this stretch, is shooting 27.7% from the floor and 14.7% from 3 with 5 turnovers per game. It is tough to play worse if he tried. So wanted to mention that. Either way, I can't back Memphis. This team sucks. Look, at least Boston could shoot threes. The Grizzlies, we know yesterday, got torched to the 3-point line by the Knicks. Now, Boston has not been shooting that well from 3, but they have a lot of 3-point shooters, which we've seen the last couple of years. Could be a big game for White, maybe Pritchard, but they got options. I'll go with Boston, -6.5 for this one. Moving on to the next game. We have a rematch, even though no one's playing in this game. Cavs are taking on the Heat. The Heat won the crazy overtime game. Last time, shout out to Wiggins for the game-winning alley-oop at the buzzer. Heat, though, laying 5.5 this time, and the over-under's at 238.5. Now, for the injury report, Cleveland is actively punting this game. You have no Garland, you have no Mitchell, you have no Mobley. Strus is still out, no Tyson, and Nance Jr. is questionable. The projected lineup right now is Alonzo, Merrill. Merrill's been nasty, by the way. He's been very good. Hunter, you have Wade and Jared Allen. For the Heat, you have no Bam, no Hero, no Rozier, so the usual guys, but everyone else right now is active. Mitchell, Powell, Larson, Wiggins, and Ware, with Hawkes coming in off the bench. So we saw the Heat just win. So you have some deja vu principles, but the Cavs are benching everybody in this game, and the Heat are undefeated at home. So I'll ask you, Lonte, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I'm staying away from the side because of all of that uncertainty. Although I will point out that usually when things like this happen and guys are ruled out, the team who the players are ruled out on, they typically, cover and win the game. And I guess Donovan Mitchell couldn't make it back from Louisville in time. He was there watching the game last night.
Great game to go to, though. Good win.
Yeah, hell
good win.
Hell of a game.
Yeah. It's better than the Gonzaga Creighton game. Tell that much.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, it would be Miami or nothing for me. But I pivot and I go to Miami team total over. I mean, they scored 120 plus in 4 of the last 5. They're 8-2-1 ATS and 5-0 as a favorite. I mean, they are really rolling, especially at home.
They're good.
Yeah. So I credit to Noah LaRoche, obviously, for coming over from Memphis. I mean, obviously, like if you just look at the contrast of what that offense was, like Memphis's offense was like ranked like top 3 early on, and then after he leaves, like he takes that over to Miami, and that's just, I mean, credit to him. So he's doing a really good job.
Ja wasn't happy with the lack of pick and roll plays, and now the offense can actually score. So.
Yeah, there you go. That's tough. But yeah, I'm going Miami team total over. It's not a ton of handicap here, obviously, with all those guys being missing for Cleveland. So Miami team total over or nothing.
Yeah, well, historically speaking, you'd probably pick Cleveland because this would be a classic Heat letdown spot at home when the Cavs are sitting all their players. Look, the total I find interesting because I actually had the over as my lock on the last episode at 247.5. I didn't give a damn. I thought this game was going to be high scoring. I thought there'd be at least one quarter with 70-plus points, and I think there were 79 points in the third quarter. So that ended up getting there pre-overtime. Then, of course, it flew over in overtime. But, look, the Heat have a lot of depth, and Jaquez off the bench is just absolutely nasty. Is he going to win Sixth Man of the Year? Because, like, Jaquez has been really, really good, and I'm actually wondering if he might win the award. Like he's been fantastic.
Yeah, he's up there. You know what? And somebody in the chat, I don't know, maybe they can, maybe they're watching or listening. Somebody in the chat brought up him for most improved, and I kind of like that as well. But
there's definitely an award there for Jaquez.
Yeah. Both ways. Both ways. I can see it. I forgot who said it in the chat. I don't want to. But yeah, it was. I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
It wasn't today. I didn't see it in the comments.
Yeah, it was yesterday, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're going.
Yeah,
what are you going with in this game, though? You taking the Heat or you going with the Cavs?
No, I like the Heat team total over. I don't really want to play the side. Honestly, I mean, gun to my head, I'd probably take the Cavs at plus money.
That's the thing, though. Is a lot of people in the comment section are mentioning that the Heat are favorites at home. We can't take them. They're 5-0 at home. Like they might just be a different team than previous years. So I'm not going to let previous, I'd say, seasons influence my thought process for this one. Because Miami, unlike last year, looks good. And Miami, look, if you have that much depth and you have an offense that is so fast and unpredictable, you can beat anybody at this point. So I think I'll go with Miami, but I do recognize, historically speaking, this is a great letdown spot and a deja vu spot for the Cavs to randomly just show up and win the game. I mean, the pace is going to be crazy. The Cavs, though, played one game this season without Garland and Mitchell, and they scored 101 against Toronto and got their asses kicked. So I can't really back them without Garland and Mitchell and Mobley. So if you wanted my thoughts, Jared Allen props. Why not? Give me some rebounds here. Ware kind of kicked his ass in the first meeting, and I'm kind of hoping Jared Allen gets his get back. So we'll see what happens, but I don't mind Sam Merrill threes. He had a crazy heat check in that third quarter. I don't know if you saw it. He made a 3 on 4 straight possessions. It was like a Kyle Korver heat check without the ball touching the rim. It was pretty wild, but I don't mind.
Shoot it, man.
He can really shoot it. Like if he's in the 3-point contest, I'll bet on him. But I don't mind DeAndre Hunter. I think DeAndre Hunter's got a good matchup. I'll take his props.
Yeah. You know what? They can make the 3-point contest exciting this year. It's always probably the highlight of the event anyway. But like with Merrill, if you look at like Hauser can shoot it. AJ Johnson from AJ Green, I'm sorry, from Milwaukee. Like it's a lot of it's a lot of guys that can shoot it.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of guys that you could throw out there, especially some young guys who have some talent. But
exactly.
I'm going to throw Merrill out there because if you watch him play, like Merrill's filthy from 3. And that's exactly what you're looking for. He's like a Duncan Robinson type. So I do think he can make some sense. I see some questions or comments about the 6th Man of the Year race, by the way. And I see that Jeremy Grant being mentioned by Timeout. I believe Grant's the favorite right now in the market. Jaquez right now is the favorite. Jaquez is 4-1. Ajay Mitchell's at 650. Grant's at 12-1. The issue with Grant is he always gets hurt, and you have to worry about the qualifying amount of games. So we'll see if Grant can stay healthy. He's been solid. But right now, Jaquez is the favorite. Jaquez is actually plus 400, and I can't argue that. Yeah, right now he's the favorite at 4-1.
Okay,
So unfortunately, the guys that I gave out a Kunku at around 35-1. He's at 20-1. Somehow has a bigger price than Grimes, which I don't get at all. I don't think Grimes has been that great this season. He's been fine. But either way, Jaquez right now is the favorite. So there you go. But for this game, I don't mind Merrill stuff. I don't mind DeAndre Hunter stuff. That's kind of my thoughts for that one. Moving on to the next game, you have the biggest spread on the card. The Wizards taking on the Rockets. Now, for this one, the Wizards are 1-10. They should be 3-8. I don't know how they lost to Philly. I don't know how they lost to Detroit. But you know what? Tanking teams are going to tank. So they found ways to lose those games. I'm sure the ownership is thrilled they lost those games. They are now 1-10. As for Houston, they're 6-3. The offense has been a work in progress. But you know what? When it's right, this team is dangerous because they can out-rebound anybody, and they just have so much size. Now, for the injury report, still no Finney-Smith, and we know Van Vliet's out for the year. For Washington, you have no Koulibaly. Now, besides that, everyone's healthy. Washington did have a day off after the overtime loss to Detroit, but they've lost 9 in a row, and it has been very, very ugly. So, out of these 9 games, they've lost 7 of them. They've lost 6 of them by, I believe it's at least 17 points. So a lot of these games are ugly. And when they lose, they get absolutely buried more often than not. Now, Houston had a very nice road win against Milwaukee. And I actually watched that fourth quarter. KD looked fantastic. Şengün put Giannis on skates at the end. Giannis was gambling for steals, I'll admit it. But either way, Şengün had a nice and one to wrap the game up. Houston, though, has officially won 6 of their last 7. The offense has been solid recently. They have scored at least 124. They've scored at least 122 points in, I believe it is 6 of their last 7. So the offense has been nasty. But I'll ask you for this one, do you want to lay the massive number? Because conceptually, the Wizards, besides Sarr, even including Sarr, really bad at rebounding. So this could get ugly on the boards in this game. And we know the Wizards can roll over very quickly in their game. So I think Houston might win by 30, if I'm being honest here. But do you want to lay the 16.5?
Yeah, I would. And, typically I don't like to lay numbers nor should you. Well, I'll say I don't like laying. I'm not going to say what somebody else should do. But typically don't lay big numbers in these spots. But with a coach like Ime, I'm all in.
And the depth they have. Like, the Wizards might not get many open looks the entire game.
Yeah, because he's not going to allow them to kind of be, relax or be lackadaisical. Like, he'll call a timeout up 30. Like, he's a psycho. And I mean that in a good way. Like, this is a type of, mentality that you want to lay a number with. I mean, the Wizards they give up 135 plus points in 3 of their last 4 games.
Yep.
That's disgusting. Houston's back home after spending 4 of the last 5 on the road. They probably should have lost that Milwaukee game, but KD was incredible. I mean, I know people have their opinions about KD and all that, but what he's doing or what he has been doing has been incredible. I mean, he's not too far removed from an Achilles injury. I mean, and he's still that was vintage KD in the end of the third quarter into the fourth quarter against Milwaukee was like vintage KD. Like, he was getting to every spot that he wanted. He was making guys make shots. Like, he was unbelievable.
Oh, he had a couple of and one fadeaways that were just very contested. Yeah. I'm like, this is why KD's one of the best scorers of all time. Like, it was just great.
Yeah, it's incredible, man, what he's been able to do at that level and still be efficient. He's playing better defensively, obviously, because he has the length and athleticism of the guys on the perimeter, so he can kind of run around.
Too much responsibility, which is a nice blend for KD.
Exactly. So, Houston's had 3 days to rest. They should be ready to go. I think they come out and smash the Rockets. So I love the first quarter.
You mean the Wizards? Didn't they smash the Wizards?
Yeah, smash the Wizards. I'm sorry. Yeah, I think they come out and smash the Wizards in the first quarter. So first quarter would be my favorite bit, but I would not mind laying 16.5 because, like you said, they're gonna play volleyball with those bigs. And even if they go to the backups, I mean, you're playing Reece Sheppard, Tari Eason, Jabari, all these guys are capable of still, putting it on the Wizards. So yeah, I like the Rockets a lot.
No, I'm with you. I think the Rockets kill them. I think it's fascinating that they did play against Milwaukee on Sunday and then just didn't play the last 2 days. So I do like the spot for Houston.
It was an early game too. So
yeah, they're also not on a back-to-back. They play Portland on Friday, so there is no look ahead or anything. So I think the Rockets win this game by 25. I think this game's ugly. I think they're up by 15 and a half. And I think you're looking at the depth they have and the good resting spot entering this game. I think Amen or Şengün might be on triple-double watch. The problem is a potential blowout, so keep an eye out for that. But, yeah, I don't know what Washington's supposed to do. I mean, you're looking at Middleton or McCollum. I know McCollum at 42 in the last game. That's kind of the only way they can be competitive. They don't really have much scoring depth. They don't play any defense, and they don't care. So I got to go with the Rockets with you. So, look, I think that this game, you could argue maybe Houston takes their foot off the gas and maybe Washington ends up backdooring this. That means you get a much better line in-game because if Houston's going to be up like 15 and a half, you might get Washington live at like 25 and a half. Like you might get a much better number live. I would not take Washington plus the 16 and a half. I think Houston will be up by a ton early in this game. I don't mind Washington to allow 100 plus points in the first 3 quarters. So I might go with that. I think Houston can get to 100 in 3 quarters. I'll go for that as my choice for this one. Trying to find the price though for this. It's been a very good market if you're actually looking at that type of niche angle so far this season. Because we've seen a bunch of teams score a bunch of points, and Washington's allowed a bunch of points, as you've said before, with them allowing 130 plus on the regular at this point. You can find Houston to score 100 points in the first 3 quarters at plus 162, which I think is fine.
Plus 160?
Yeah, it's plus 162.
Oh, that's in.
So I've been experimenting
Is that on
that
DraftKings?
market. I know it's on FanDuel only, I think, but that's one market I've been kind of experimenting with, and it's been working out. So I don't mind that. I'll go for Houston to score 100 plus in 3 quarters at plus 162 for this one. Lonte, anything else you want to add for this game?
No, I'm actually betting that right now.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, plus 162 I think is just a great deal, and Washington hands out 130 to everybody. So that's my thoughts on that one. Moving on to the next game, you have the Blazers, who are laying 8.5 on the road against New Orleans. For the injury report for this one, New Orleans has no Murray, no Poole, and no Zion. For some reason, Looney is still starting instead of just letting Queen go. This team sucks. Just let their young players play. For Portland, though, they are 5-5. No Scoot still, no Tybal, and no Wesley. But we know Portland has been feisty so far this season. So far, look at the actual home road splits for these teams. For New Orleans, it really doesn't matter. I mean, this team is awful, but they are 1-2 at home. So they have played 7 road games up to this point. So maybe they'll look better in the Smoothie King Center. For Portland, 2-3 on the road. Now, Avdi has been amazing. He's averaging 25 plus points per game. Trey Murphy has been quite good lately, even though they get blown out in every game. So the stats don't matter too much. I'll ask you, though. Do you want to lay 8.5 on the road with Portland?
Absolutely not. I'll just before I get into that, yeah, they moved it to like 120. That's horrible. But I still got enough down, so that's fine. My bad. Yeah, that's a good.
But they moved what to 120?
They moved it to plus 120 for Houston. This is on DraftKings. I didn't look on.
No, I was gonna say FanDuel's still 162.
Okay, cool. That's cool. So. I'll go and add some more to that. But just my bad. Circling back to this game. Yeah, I mean Portland is. I don't know if they're in a position to be laying this type of number. I mean, I know New Orleans is bad, and I love Jeremiah Fears. I love Derek Queen. I think at some point they got to just, like you said, just let these guys go and play. I mean, I
don't get what the point is. I mean, you signed Looney, which I understand that, I'd say during the offseason you wanted an actual center, even though he can't score to save his life. I get it, but look, your team's garbage.
Yeah.
Everyone knows your team's garbage. Just let Queen play 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, I mean, and if I'm that front office, like I would right now, I mean, you're tanking the value of guys like Trey Murphy, guys like, I mean, I know you just paid her, but I mean, that's an easy contract to kind of get rid of. Like, I would move on from those guys and just go full youth movement. I mean,
I don't know what Herb's doing for your team. Like, I understand as a defensive player, he can be very, very solid, but do you think anybody else in this team is guarding anybody? Your team is awful. What's the point of an elite defensive player on this team?
Yeah, that's fair. I think Trey's a better defender than what he gets credit for, but I mean, that's just me. But like,
we know Herb's the best defender on the team.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's no debate. But I mean, this is a third straight road game for Portland. They are 2-3 ATS on the road. The Pelicans are 1-1-1 ATS at home.
Yeah.
Portland's also 1-3 as a favorite. So, I'll probably hold my nose and take New Orleans here. It's not something that I recommend, but I mean, if I had to make a play on it, it would be New Orleans.
Yeah, I think my play is going to be prop related. I see a bunch of people mentioning the Drew Holiday revenge game or double revenge game, whatever you want to call it. I don't mind Drew Holiday props. I didn't mind the double-double in this game. My favorite prop is actually dangerous, but I actually like the idea of it. I think it's a good matchup for Klingon. I didn't mind his rebounds, like 9.5.
Yeah.
I might bump that up to 12.
Yeah,
I saw 12 rebounds last night. It was plus 280. Like, I understand Klingon has not been very good lately. I get it, but the Pelicans can't rebound, and we know Looney can't shoot. So you can keep Klingon in the paint. Just let him chill there and grab boards. I didn't mind going for a potential Klingon option there. Over 11.5 rebounds plus 280. I think it's a great matchup. I think that he's going to play 20-plus minutes. Time Lord is healthy, but he's playing around 15 minutes a game. So Klingon's clearly the starter, and Hansen's been buried on the bench. So there's no real competition for starting minutes here, despite the recent struggles by Klingon. Give me the Klingon rebounds over 11.5 alt line at around plus 280 I saw last night. Moving on to the next game, Warriors taking on the Spurs. Spurs laying 4.5. They look really good. For the Warriors, they got buried last game. I mean, OKC, look, without Jalen Williams, they are still the best team in the league. It is pretty concerning how good OKC is, despite having all the injuries they have. Like, this team is stupid. That's how good OKC is. Anyway, the Warriors can't win a road game, which I know Draymond made some comments about during the post game. I mean, yesterday after the loss, basically questioning his team's, I'd say, commitment to winning. And I know Draymond's always been a vocal guy. He also might be washed, so I wonder if that's going to result in a little bit of fragmentation in the locker room. I'll put it that way. Golden State, though, is, for lack of a better word, old, and they look like it earlier this season. San Antonio's young. Castle's been a phenomenal point guard. Fox came back. He looks fine. I mean, Wemby's a demon. They look good. But until Golden State wins a road game, I know they're on a back-to-back, but they basically sat everybody for the fourth quarter because they were down by what felt like 90 points. So I'm going to go with San Antonio, who's undefeated at home. They are 5-0. But I think the spread's too short. And Golden State, I think, is fine, but they're 1-6 on the road. This team just can't play away from home. Give me San Antonio minus 4.5.
Yeah, I like San Antonio as well, man. I wanted Golden State to be a little bit more competitive at OKC so we can get a better number. Like, just if they were more competitive, and maybe lost by a couple of possessions, like this probably would have came like 2.5, maybe 3. But I still think it's fine. I mean, Fox coming back adds a different dynamic for this offense. You saw Wemby be a lot fresher down the stretch. What he did in that fourth quarter was like unreal, man. Like unreal. Like he was doing some. I mean, obviously he's an alien, but it's just like he was draining threes. He hit a spot up three. Like he's getting.
No, that was the entire Nikola Vucevic defensive package in the span of about 2 minutes because Wemby isolated off of Castle and hit him with one of the slowest crossovers you've ever seen. And Vucevic had no answer. He didn't know what to do. Wemby hit 1-3 in transition, then ISO'd, hit him with this slow motion crossover, and Vucevic was out of the picture. It looked like Chris Paul against Andrew Bynum. You remember that video?
Yeah, I do.
Like, it looked like that, where Vucevic just couldn't move laterally, and Wemby just drained it in his face. But I think he had 18 points in the fourth quarter. Like, Wemby just took over the game.
Yeah, man, he was incredible. And the important part is, I mean, obviously the scoring is great, but the fact that he's getting easy looks. I still think that the Spurs are kind of a shooter or two away from being like a real contender. But Fox being back, I mean, adds a different dynamic to their offense. You can see it the way he's getting downhill, and he's not really fully, healthy. But I do think.
And that's the dangerous part, though. Like, Fox still getting back into it, but you figured when Fox came back, the ball would be in his hands the entire time. It hasn't even worked out that way because Castle's so good at passing that he gets other people good looks. So the Castle and Fox backcourt combo, I thought might be a problem with the actual, I'd say, necessity of having the ball in their hands. Castle's made it so much easier by how selfless he is. His vision is incredible as a point.
I agree. Yeah. And the Spurs, they haven't been covering lately. 1-4 ATS last 5, but you talked about it at home. They're 4-1 straight up in ATS. I trust them in this spot. Golden State struggles on the road. I mean, you documented that, so I won't run through it. But yeah, I like the Spurs here.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, and I know it was brought up in the comments section. I don't want to deep dive too much into it, but I have to always bring it up. I see Luis, who is once again a Suns fan, so he's not going to take the opportunity by the wayside to roast another team in his division. So I am aware that there might be some bias here, but Luis is asking if it's time to have a conversation on the Warriors being overrated or not, and if there's a gap between them and elite teams. Look, OKC, there's a gap between them and everybody. Yeah. So I feel like talking about OKC, watching them get their asses kicked, might be, I'd say, a bit of an unfair timing to have this conversation. Having said that, I do think they are overrated. I think Golden State is an old team. And look, if your main offseason move is to bring back Kuminga, which nobody was happy about, and you ended up doing so, he's been fine this season.
Not even him.
But
not even Kuminga was happy about it.
That's what I'm saying. And you ended up signing Al Horford. Like, you didn't get younger at any position. And I understand that Curry has been elite for so long. He had the crazy game against the Nuggets where they stole an overtime win. I get all that. But the point is, you still have Draymond, who we know has really not been the same guy for the last couple of years. Butler, who's hurt all the time. He's already had a back issue this season. I think they are overrated. Like, I think this team is still a playoff team, but when you're relying on so many guys in their mid to late 30s to basically be your main pieces, that's not going to work in 2025. So to answer your question, I do think they are overrated. Are they bad? I didn't say that. But I don't see an upside here. I think that they're kind of like last year. Their ceiling is a second-round elimination. If they won a round, I'd be happy for them. But do I think they're overrated? Yes. I think for the most part, they look like a one-and-done team. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think, like, when we're talking about overrated, like I was high on Golden State coming in, but
they're not a contender in the West. They might win a round. That's kind of where I'm at with this Golden State team.
Yeah, and I think that's properly rated. I don't think a lot of people were thinking that they could come in and win the title. Were they?
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think they're kind of properly rated.
They're better than the Clippers. It could be worse. So once again, it could be worse. But the Warriors look like an old team, and there are rumors Podziemski might get traded. I don't think Podziemski is that good. That doesn't solve any of your problems, to be clear. Like, you have bigger issues than Podziemski.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wrap it up here. Like, I just think that they just, they get that kind of bump because they've won championships. And kind of,
and they have multiple Hall of Famers on their team.
Yeah, so when they're not playing well, it's like, hey, they'll figure it out, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, that's probably fine. And they probably will. I mean, it's early in the season. They don't have to be honest, they don't have a ton of talent. They just are not a talented team. I mean, Steph is older.
That's why they needed Kuminga. Even if you don't like Kuminga's play style, they need the athleticism. They need the guy who can actually create his own shot.
Yeah, so I think they'll end up being fine. I don't know if they make a move or two. I mean, maybe go get Clay back. I don't know. Like, I don't know what
Clay's.
Clay's.
No, I think that's just.
I think that's a. I mean, I agree. I think that's more like where he's at than anything. But I mean, that's just me. But
you mean for Clay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, all I know is he's got some money left in his contract, but I don't know how much he loves basketball. Are we getting the return of Chinese Clay? Question mark. Like, it's been that bad. Like Guangdong Tigers. Like, it's been bad for Clay.
Yeah.
I mean, on the bright side, he's winning off the court, if that counts. But on the court, he's been a mess. So I don't think Clay solves anything for this team.
Yeah, big winner off the court.
But either way.
Big fan of his off the court.
Yeah, either way. Point is, at least he's winning in one of the two areas off the court. But either way, the Warriors, they're just an old team. And I don't know what their moves are at this point. So we'll see what happens. But I think they are a one-and-done team in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But one injury, by the way, to Butler or Curry, and this thing might be going down very quickly. So they might be a play-in team. Like, Golden State might be a play-in team by season's end. So we'll see what happens. But either way, wanted to mention that briefly. Moving on to the next game. We have 4 games left. Suns taking on the Mavericks. Mavericks in the first game post-Nico era. If they announce the new GM, if they showed, like, Michael Finley, co-GM's face, he might get a standing ovation because they don't have to deal with Nico anymore in that building. But either way, The Suns are dogs despite being really good lately. Mavericks are laying 1.5. Injury report for this game. Once again, no Nico, if that counts. But for the injury report, AD might play. He's questionable. So Professor Glass might be back for this game. We'll see. Still no Kyrie. Live was questionable. And Exum, of course, is still injured. For Phoenix, you have no Jalen Green. Besides that, fully healthy. Grayson Allen had a casual 40-plus points last game, which nobody kind of talked about. Pretty nuts. I think he had 42 points in like 29 minutes, which is crazy to think about. But I'm going to spend zero time on this game. Whether AD plays or not, I don't know how long he's going to play. Phoenix looks good. I'm not saying that they're going to be a team that I'm worried about like come postseason, but they might make the play-in. Like this team's good. They're playing good basketball. The chemistry's there. They've adjusted to the new system that they've kind of put in with Ott as the head coach. I like what I've seen. They've been good. Dallas, though, their offense is a mess. I understand for the memes, getting rid of Nico might help the crowd atmosphere. You don't have 17 fire Nico chants mid-game. But this team still stinks. They have no point guard. They can't shoot. It's just a mess right now. Give me Phoenix. Why is Dallas favored in any game right now, especially against Phoenix, who's been objectively good for the last couple weeks? Give me Phoenix in this game.
Yeah, you know what? I gotta agree with. It's funny. I agree with everything that you just said, but I like the Mavericks. I think
is that solely based on AD playing, or does that not matter to you?
Well, so I don't think AD plays, but because this number probably would be a little bit higher if he does. And I've listened to Tim McMahon talk about like AD being like ready to play like last week, and then kind of ownership like not want him to play. So I don't like. It's kind of weird, and that kind of worries me. But the Phoenix is playing really well. I mean, they've won 4 of the last 5, but are they playing better, or is it like a soft schedule? I mean, they won 2 against the Clippers, who we'll get to when we talked about are horrible. The Pelicans, and then the Spurs is a good win. The home road splits are drastic. 1-4 straight up in ATS on the road. And Dallas, I mean, they do have their a lot of issues, to be honest. They've been pretty competitive early on. Like, close games. They led Milwaukee this weekend, pretty much all game into the end. They competed with Houston on the road. They were down 3 points going into the fourth quarter before they let go of the rope. So, you know what? They're not playing horribly. They just don't have the pieces don't fit together. So
yeah, they have no spacing. I mean, that's the main issue.
Yeah, so I like Dallas. I think Dallas wins the game by a couple of possessions. I love the under. Phoenix has held 3 straight opponents under 105. Dallas under 105 scoring in 3 straight. And I think that firing Nico with the crowd being back in it a little bit more energized, I think that does bode well for the Mavericks and kind of their psyche. So it's over with now. You can move forward. I like the Mavericks in this spot.
By the way, I'm seeing a money mentioning that Nico did not trade Luka by himself. I'm aware of that, but you cannot fire the owner. So they turned him into the scapegoat.
Well, the owner signed off on it. So, I mean.
The owner signed off on it. I think that suggests that the entire ownership group of Dallas doesn't actually know ball. I think that's pretty safe to say at this point. Was it Dumont? Dumont's the owner?
Dumont's, I think.
Yeah, disaster. That's how I'll put it. But either way, point is, look, the end of the day, we know the Luka trade's a disaster. The main issue for me wasn't even trading Luka. It was the fact that you didn't shop him around to 28 of the 29 teams, and you saw Nico have a secret coffee date with Pelinka, and they traded him without any team knowing he was available. I think that's the bigger concern. I'll ask you, though, let's assume you had no players. There was no Anthony Davis. I get the Mavericks wanted to remain on a win-now timeline. If you were just trading Luka without any players, how many first-round picks are you requesting? Minimum 6, 7? How many are you asking for?
I would say 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Would they get one?
I would actually take. You know what? I would actually take. You know what? Give me 5, but give me 3 of those in this draft.
Yeah, but either way, let's assume most teams though. You'd say you'd want minimum 6 first-round picks?
Yep, minimum.
Do you think a team out there would have offered 6 first-round picks?
If they were not, they are unserious about winning.
That is kind of my point. My issue wasn't conceptually the idea of trading Luka. The bigger issue was not actually getting the best offer possible, which is your job as a GM. So that was the main issue there. But the ownership's a joke for Dallas. look, Nico being out of the building helps morale, but clearly there are bigger ownership issues behind the scenes, and these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. So I think Dallas has some serious problems long term, but I'll go with the Suns. They look like an actual team. I see Luis mentioning Suns play-in is like plus 380. I love that. I think they're a solid play-in team. They might be like the Bulls of previous years. They might not be that good, but they're going for it, and I respect them for going for it. So give me the Suns to be a play-in team, actually, and I like them in this game at plus 1.5 for the money line for this one. Moving on to the next game, Lakers taking on the Thunder. Thunder missing players, nobody cares. They're 11-1, should be 12-0. Their only loss came on a blown 20-plus point lead to Portland. So they probably should be 12-0. Now, Dort's questionable for this game. J-Dub is doubtful. So a reminder, an all-NBA caliber guy might be coming back, and they're still 11-1, and he hasn't played a game yet. So this team is dangerous. For the Lakers, no LeBron, no Vincent, but you have Luka, you have Reeves, you have Ayton, whatever. So look, the Thunder are completely just a wagon, and I don't know who can beat this team in a 7-game series. This is just stupid.
Oh my God.
I'm going to ask, just for the sake of asking, can OKC win 70?
I mean, man.
I think it's possible, right? I'm not saying they're going to get there because it's once again, it's easier said than done. But 11-1 without J-Dub, this team has a shot at 70. This is crazy.
It's not just J-Dub though. Wiggins.
Dort's missed some games. Wiggins is missing games.
Whole shit was that they haven't been whole since probably the beginning of last year. They haven't been whole. I don't know. I don't know to be honest. I don't know.
They got a shot at 70. This team is just insane. I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know. And this is a bad matchup for the Lakers. The Lakers are old. They're non-athletic. They don't have a ton of wings. They don't have a ton of ball handlers. I mean, Luka and Austin Reeves are your dominant ball handlers. That does not bode well for this defense for OKC. I mean, just to put it in perspective, OKC was up 30 last game against Golden State. They gave up 19 points in the fourth quarter. I don't care who's playing. 19 points, and obviously it wasn't the starters. 19 points in the fourth quarter after being up 30 is unreal. That is unreal. I can't. I'm not betting against it for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to. Even when they sit guys.
Yeah, I can't.
They just invent people in a lab. Ajay Mitchell, you'll just casually be a potential 6-man of the year winner. It's are you serious?
He's just. That's
okay. See, I don't know what process Presti uses when it comes to draft evaluations. If he sold a book, every GM in the league would buy it because I don't know how the hell he finds he never misses anybody.
Yeah. So my thing is, if I'm, now it might be a mixture of them not wanting to league, but why aren't other teams hiring their player personnel guys? I would give them.
I would want everybody from their building.
I'll give them an extra $1 million or $2 million. Their process. I mean, I know obviously Presti is the main guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of those guys that scout and do a lot of that.
Get somebody from the scouting department.
Yeah, you gotta do something, bro. They are ridiculous.
They're so good.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
Their biggest miss over the last couple of years. I mean, look, I'm not going to mention Poku. That's from a different era that was tanking. Their biggest miss recently is Zhang.
Yeah.
And I barely seen Zhang play, so I don't even know if he's good or not. But look, they hit on everybody basically. It's crazy what their hit rate percentage is. So I'll go with the Thunder with you. I do understand Luka in theory could have a 40-point triple-double, and they could find a way to win. But the defensive pressure they're going to throw on Luka and Reeves, I just think is going to frustrate this team a ton. So I'll go with the Thunder at home. At home, this team's just too good at home.
Yeah, man. It's ridiculous.
If it was in LA, maybe I'd consider it. But in OKC, I'll go with OKC.
Yeah, and it's crazy because the Lakers are one of the best ATS teams in the league.
They're good.
Yeah, and they're one of the best. They're one of the actually they are the only team to be 5-1 straight up and ATS on the road. So they play well on the road.
Yeah.
We're saying that, and OKC is probably going to bury him.
I mean, OKC is in a different tier at this point. As good as the Lakers have been without LeBron, OKC is playing their own sport.
Yeah, this is Kevin Durant.
It's just
Warriors
insane
territory.
to watch.
Yeah, this is Kevin Durant Warriors territory.
I see people asking about Dort, by the way. I see Dort's questionable. So Dort might return for this game. It has not been confirmed yet, but he might end up playing.
Nobody matters for this. Like, I'm not
they
trying
just
to
throw guys in.
It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter.
No, like this has serious like mid '90s, late '90s Bulls like vibes to it. Like I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
you just lose.
Yeah,
that's kind of how it goes. But moving on to the next game, you have the Hawks taking on the Kings. For this one, you have the Hawks laying 3.5 against the Kings on the road. Totals 233.5. For the Kings, well, this team stinks, but they were competitive a bit against Denver yesterday. Didn't cover. They're fully healthy right now, besides Keegan Murray. I see Carter's questionable. For Atlanta, still no Trey. You're looking at Alexander Walker being questionable. Didn't matter because Krejci hit, 45 threes last game. Krejci went nuts. I forgot if he had 8 or 9 threes, but they ended up beating the Clippers on the road. Nice win there. I'll ask you for this game because Atlanta's missing a couple of offensive firepower pieces, but they are better than Sacramento. So do you want to lay 3.5 on the road with the Hawks or no?
I don't, but I also don't want to take 3.5 with the Kings. Probably be sitting this one out. I was on the Kings yesterday. I thought they would be competitive, and they
battled for a bit. They let go of the rope. They let go of the rope early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, their defense is atrocious. They don't. I mean, they got to get like as good as Sabonis is. Like, get him a big man next to him.
Sabonis, I still think is the worst defensive center in the entire league, and that's kind of been an opinion for years.
Yeah, he's not a center. He's a power forward. So like,
he gives you no rim protection at all. It's a waste.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they've allowed 130 plus points in 4 of the last 6 games. They're 1-5 ATS at home. Atlanta has been sneakily better defensively. I know you talked about it. The Trey Young.
I say this every year. Yeah, they get so much better defensively every time Trey's out. Yeah, every time.
Yeah, under 105 points allowed in 3 straight. Minimal travel for Atlanta. They were already in LA for the Clippers game, so I mean,
and they won that game.
Yeah, so they're not. They've had a day off in between, so I mean, travel is not an issue here. It would be Atlanta or nothing. I know Nall's out right for this game, so it'll be tough. But if I had a gun in my head, I would probably take it to Hawks, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't have a strong opinion on this game either, mainly because I don't trust either team in this spot. The Kings are terrible. The Hawks, I don't want to lay 3.5 with. If you wanted a prop here, a Konkwu double-double. Give me some rebounding stuff with a Konkwu. I don't mind that, but not really one of the best games on the card, full disclosure. I don't mind the under, though. With Atlanta, the way they're playing, I understand Sacramento, of course, a bad defensive team, but Atlanta plays slow, not a lot of offensive firepower, and the pace is pretty ugly when Trey doesn't play. I don't mind the under in this game. I think the total's pretty high. Kings on a back-to-back. Maybe they sit some people. We'll see what happens. I think it's Westbrook's birthday, so a lot of people are on the triple-double with Westbrook. Good luck to you. I'm probably not going to be on that, but either way, once again, look, if you want to go Kings, I don't hate the spot, but I'll go with the under instead. That's kind of my thoughts. I'm moving on to the last game. Speaking of the Clippers who stink, Nuggets laying 3.5 on the road against the Clippers. The over-under is at 225.5. Now, for the injury report, no Beal and Kawhi Leonard is planting trees somewhere to earn that payment under the under the table. But either way, Kawhi's injured again. What else is new? For the Nuggets, fully healthy. Played yesterday. They sat Joker for, I think it was like the first 7 minutes of the fourth quarter and just said, why not? Because we can get away with it now. Our bench doesn't suck. And then they brought Joker in, put the game on ice, and it was over. But Denver, we know, is a wagon, and Joker's the best player in the world. I know Shea is a madman, but Joker's the best player in the world. Deal with it. It is what it is. For the Clippers, look, Harden, a 35-point triple-double, and they still lost to Atlanta without Trae Young. A 35-point triple-double at home, and you still can't beat Atlanta. This team stinks. I got nothing else to add. I think they might miss the playoffs. Like, this team, is it code red? It feels like code red. And Kawhi has already been hurt.
Yeah.
The supporting cast hasn't been very good. I don't know what they're defensively. Harden and Beal are just absolute traffic cones, which is expected. But you can't guard anybody. It's why Chris Dunn's playing serious minutes, because you got to have somebody who can guard on the perimeter. That's kind of why they're using Dunn for that big of a role. The Clippers are a joke. Give me Denver.
Yeah, I mean, unbettable. Clippers unbettable right now. 1-9 ATS, 1-6 ATS at home. Denver's rolling 7-3 ATS. They won 5 in a row, covered 4 straight. I can only look at Denver here. I like the under as well. Denver defensively has been a lot better. I think the scary part about Denver is that I think that once they get like acclimated, I mean, Cam's not playing well. That's apparent.
That's the scary part is Cam's breaking a bunch of outside shots. They're still a wagon.
Yeah, and he's gonna play well. I know.
And for the record, by the way, Cam Johnson, despite not shooting well, still a much better defensive player than Porter Jr.
Yeah, I mean, he's a mover. He's a connector. He's somebody you have to respect.
Just saying, he has been excelling in some areas. The offense, not so much.
Yeah.
But at least the defense has been better because you take Porter Jr. out.
Yeah, I agree there. And like Joker being fresher down the stretch because you have Valanciunas being there to kind of, and they haven't played I don't have the data in front of me, but they haven't played a ton of minutes together. But when those two guys are on the floor together, I mean, Joker is just like, I mean, he's already unbelievable, but he's on another level because of he's not having to bang with these other bigs, and he can let Valanciunas do that. And he's kind of playing, roaming around on defense, saving his energy for offense. So
even Gordon's been great this season.
Yeah, he's still dealing with that hammy too. So like, I mean, Murray's banged up, and they're still like out here performing. So
did you watch any of the game yesterday? I know you said you had the Kings, but that game started 11.
No, I didn't. I didn't watch a ton of it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, there was like a dagger possession where the Nuggets in the last 2 minutes, they were up. I think it was 9 at the time. They ran a reverse pick and roll. Sabonis fouled out, so I got to watch Drew Eubanks try to guard Joker for about 4 minutes, which went as badly as you could possibly think. They had Jamal Murray setting a screen for Joker, and it broke Sacramento's brains. They didn't know what to do, and Joker had a wide-open floater. But they ran a reverse pick and roll, and that kind of sums up just how creative Denver can be with Adelman or Joker calling the shots. Bruce Brown played closing minutes. They have a lot of options, but when you have a savant on the court and your team defensively is just not in tune, and the Clippers are clearly not in tune defensively, Joker's going to kill you because he's going to be so far ahead of you step by step that you're going to get so many open looks in this game. I think defensively, the Clippers get killed in this game.
Yeah, you know who Adelman stole that from.
The reverse pick and roll.
They got
Mike Malone?
No, they got killed by OKC on that. Where Shea was the screener on J-Dub. They were getting smoked on that. Like, points per possession was through the roof.
At least J-Dub's another like small forward. They were dealing with a center getting a screen from a point guard.
But typically you don't screen like
I'm watching Eubanks trying to deal with a Jamal Murray screen, and he had no clue what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like Eubanks, by the way, really bad player. But either way, I got to watch that unfold for the last couple of minutes as Joker. I think Joker was 16 of 18 from the floor yesterday, and I'm like, what? This isn't even fair at this point. But either way, the Clippers can't guard anybody. Now you got Joker coming to town. Have fun trying to play defense. I think the Nuggets bury him.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at. But you have any other thoughts?
No, that's it. No, I think we hit it pretty
there you
good.
go. I see people mentioning that Cam's not as good as people thought. I see Andre saying Cam's trash. Look, as a Nets fan, I got both ends of the Cam Johnson experience. He was really good last year when the team wasn't good. 2 years ago, he stunk. So I've seen the Cam Johnson experience on both sides. Once again, he does things that are not on the stat sheet that have value. He's a pretty good defensive player. His rotations are pretty solid. I do think he provides certain intangibles which are not mentioned on the stat sheet. Having said that, right now the guy can't shoot. Will he get better at it? Of course he will. But I do have to point out that I do think defensively, with Johnson, with Bruce Brown instead of Westbrook, they look much better defensively. So I want to mention that. Johnson's still doing certain things, even though the shot's broken. So we'll see what happens. But I think Cam Johnson is fine.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
That's how I'll put it. I think he's fine.
He'll be fine.
There we go.
I'm not worried. He'll be fine.
Yeah, anyway, that is going to wrap it up for all the games, all 12 of them for the NBA card. Before we get into the Lock and Dog picks, a reminder, they're brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. So you can do pick 'em entries, chance to win 5,000 times your entry. You can pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. You can also check out the new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and $100 bonus funds. Use promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. So they're crushing in college basketball, college football, the NFL, and they added the NBA as well. So they have a bunch of options for you, football and basketball, pros and college. Check it out. They have a giveaway as well. Every week, giving away cash prizes for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets per model that you build, and you can win $1K. We also have a nice discount code with Rhythm. If you use the code SGPN25 when download the app, you get a core first month. Download the most. Promo code SGPN25 for a quarter first month. Download promo code SGPN25 for a quarter off your first month at Rhythm. Welcome back, everyone, to the Beginning Podcast. Finish going through all the games for Wednesday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. So, Lonte, I'll let you go first. What's going to be your lock and dog for the show?
Yeah, it's tough because I like a ton. So the dog, I'm going to take that Houston 3/4, 100 points 3/4. I mean, it's 120 at DraftKings, 160 at FanDuel. We'll grade 140 right in the middle, but just
you don't need to. Just take the 160. Like FanDuel's a pretty common book. Just take the 160.
Yeah. So yeah, plus 160 for that.
You're not taking it on a bookie. Like it's fine. FanDuel's in a bunch of states. It's 162.
So
just take it.
One of the we talked about it. They just don't have a ton. Washington for them. Houston probably could score. They probably get close to 100 in the first half, to be honest. I mean, 135 plus in 3 of the last 4 games allowed for Washington. I think Houston should have a field day. For the lock, you know what? Let's get disgusting. I'm going to take Dallas, and that's at even money. You can get plus one. You can get plus 1 even money right now. That's kind of on the move for whatever reason. I guess.
What's a no alt spread? You're just going with the regular money line as your lock.
Yep.
Okay.
Even money. I think Dallas wins the game. Yep, I think Dallas wins the game.
I think that is a wild lock, by the way.
Yeah.
Not even a matter of like wins and losses. Just out of the 12 games to choose from, you chose the Mavericks.
Yeah, I like
that.
That
is some D-Gen action right there. I was not expecting that at all. I don't even know what to say about that. The Mavericks, really? I was not where I thought you were going with that one. That's a pretty wild choice, to be honest. All right, sure. For my lock, I have a couple of choices here. I'm going to stay away from props as my lock and dog, even though I do think the Klingon rebounds are intriguing at 11.5. His minutes have been too inconsistent for me. I'll stay away from that, but I like that prop in general. So for the lock, I think I'll just go with what I've seen with the eye test so far. I'm going Knicks at home. I know they're on a back-to-back. I get it. I don't really care. This team's 7-0 at home. Orlando has problems. Yes, they won with a Bane game-winning three-pointer. I still don't like the combo of Franz and Paolo. It doesn't look good. You throw in Bane in there, they just don't look, I'd say, comfortable playing with each other. And the Knicks look good. Really, really good. Orlando's defense has been underwhelming so far this season. Good enough for me. Give me the undefeated home team. I know it's Paolo's birthday. I don't care. Let him take 30 shots. Let him do his best Cade impression in this game. Give me the Knicks. A -4.5 is my lock for the show. For my dog, I've been doing it multiple times on the show in the past, and it's been working out for me. I'm going to go with an alt spread. It is a massive number, but you know what? Sometimes you got to just spend some money and see what happens, because the Wizards get blown out more often than not. They're getting 16.5. Houston hasn't played since Sunday. I'll go for it. Give me Houston. You know what? The prices are horrible. It's 19.5 at plus 126. I was really hoping for a much better price for the alt spread. I might actually pivot from that because I was hoping for a better number. Am I going to go with the Nuggets alt spread against the Clippers? It feels like a trap line, but you know what? The Clippers are just so bad. They can't score. Got to deal with Joker now. I mean, we'll see if anybody ends up sitting, but I think I will fade the Clippers. I'll go for a pivot instead. Give me the Clippers to lose handily in this game. Give me Denver minus -6, plus 140. I'll take that as my dog. Think Denver, with the offensive weapons they have, the Clippers' bad defense, and their offense as well, which has not been pretty. And Kawhi being out doesn't help. Give me the Nuggets -6 on the road at plus 140 as my dog. Moving on to the underdog entry. Lonte, what do you like for underdog? Do you want to go for Klingon?
That's a good one. I had that one circled. Yeah, that's okay. A good one.
So I'll go for Klingon. We're going to ignore the points. The points are very, very ugly when it comes to Klingon. Not going to bother. Yeah, we will go with the rebounds at about, was it 8.5? I think. Let me see what. Yeah,
I think it was 8.5.
Underdog. I'm trying to find it. Sorry, just trying to find. Anyway, either way, Klingon rebounds we'll go with, and then we'll go from there. So right now, sorry, just trying to see what Underdog has it at. Do they have 10.5? 10.5 listed? I can't.
wow.
I don't know if it's all on Underdog. It might not be posted. So I might have to actually skip it for now. But I don't see it on Underdog.
That's cool.
So we'll skip Klingon, but I like Klingon in general.
But I like Hunter. You like DeAndre Hunter as well?
I like Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that as well.
Well, the entire team's out, so I got to go with Hunter for something.
Yeah.
You want 22.5 points?
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Cool. So go with the higher on Hunter points. What else did we like? Joker triple double.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm always fine with that.
Okay. So Joker triple double, you can get close to minus 110 shopping around, but yeah, we'll take that as well. And last but not least, what did you want to throw in there?
I'm trying to figure out what else did we like, to be honest. I like flag points. I don't know if you like flags points, but I like flags points. I also like Sengun rebounds.
The Sengun rebounds concerns me if there's a blowout, but he could be on triple double watch. Let me just see what his number's at for Sengun, because I'm not against it. I just want to see what the
I like
number
Simon's
is.
points too. I know Dre was just talking about Simon's. I like Simon's points too. This is a good matchup for him with the backup, with the backups for Memphis being in. Like they can't guard, so Simon's.
Yeah, but
points.
I think I'm just going to go with Sengun because that 9.5.
Yeah, that's cool. That's perfect.
I think 9.5 is just a solid overall number there. So I actually Underdog is 10.5, which is kind of unfortunate. But do you want the 10.5 for you, or is that a deal breaker for you?
No, that's cool. I'm cool with that. I think you'll have like 11, 12 plus.
Okay, that's fine. So once again, the entry that we're going to go with here for the show, we're going to go with DeAndre Hunter higher, 22.5 points. Joker higher, half a triple double, and Sengun higher, 10.5 rebounds. That's going to be our Underdog entry. Anyway, long show, 12 games. So we tried to get in under an hour. Couldn't do it. We tried. Either way, Lonte, anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, best of luck to everybody today. Appreciate the chat, as always.
Yep, once again, hopefully enjoyed the show. Leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the podcast either on Spotify or Apple if you want to check it out there. SGPN and Gambling Podcast. Find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter at XLonteXX. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.